Well, we can go back to the track now, and it's time for the women's 5,000 metres. What a beauty this promises to be. It's a big field, 22 athletes out there. In fact, 21 athletes out there. But there is the lineup, and it's a very, very tough one to pick out a favourite. Although, of course, Eilish McColgan with that gold from the 10,000 metres 3 nights ago goes in this field. 30 women in the world this year have broken 15 minutes. That's the benchmark of world class. And, of course, with more races to come. Only 2 athletes in this field have broken 15 minutes this year, but plenty of them have broken 15 minutes in the past. Let's have a look at these athletes. So, the Lesotho athlete, let's see, Mathekane, 13th in the 10,000 here. Rose Davies of Australia, 22-year-olds, best of 15:07. Conditions are good, remember. Lucienye, 12th in the Commonwealth 1500 8 years ago. Great range of PBs. Back Doyle, Isabel Back Doyle. 8th in the 10,000 metres here. The late hopefully have recovered. Dominic Scott, effort of South Africa. 17th in the World Championships, 10,000 metres, the South African. Kali Thackeray, 4th in the UK. Her dad was a great distance runner. Coached by Nick Bideau. Spent much of the year in Australia, the English athlete. Natalie Rule of Australia didn't finish the World Championships 5,000 metres. Rachel Franklin in the second rank. Personal best at Manchester recently in a BMC race, the 30-year-old. Sarah English of Scotland, 9th in the 10,000 here. And looking ready for this. Best of 15:05. Roisin Flanagan of Northern Ireland holds the national record for Northern Ireland since April this year, 15:28. And there, Eilish McColgan, the British record holder for 5,000 metres. The champion over 10,000 metres on Wednesday evening in 30:48. Can she make it a double? Eloise Marcotte of England, European Indoor 3,000 champion last year. Watch her. Staley of Canada, Julianne Staley, 18th in the World Indoors 3,000 earlier on this year. Sarah Easton of the Isle of Man, 15th in the UK Championships, outside 16 minutes, but she has run 15:39. There's Jen Nesbitt of Wales, 17th in the 10,000 metres 4 years ago. Mathekane of the Solomon Islands is in there. No mark for the 35-year-old. Eloise Walker of Scotland, 5,000 this year and getting faster each time. She's in good form with the 21-year-old. The Rwandan, Emmeline Imani-Zabayo. No form for her, the 26-year-old, but how will she go? The Ugandan Sarah Chalanga went on the heats of the 5,000 in Toko last year, but recently 5th in the African Championships. Beatrice Chebet of Kenya, she could be a real danger. Former World Under-20 champion and the African champion over 5,000 in early June. Beth Kidger of England, 28-year-olds on 15:49. And Stella Chesang of Uganda, well, she will be inspired, surely. She's the Riyadh champion over 10,000 back in 18. She is the defending champion. Former world mountain running champion too is Chesang. She's clearly a tough customer. She could be the biggest danger to McColgan achieving the double. Well, Eilish McColgan raised the roof in this stadium. Her mum Liz and her dad Peter, I'm sure, are here again. 5,000 metres then. Anything around 15 minutes or quicker would be very, very respectable. That would obviously would be 3 minutes per kilometre or 72 seconds per lap. Kenya looking for their 5th consecutive gold, incidentally. There's been no non-Kenyan winner since Paula Radcliffe in Manchester back in 2002 when the British athlete set the Commonwealth Games record of 14:31. And this one has gone off pretty slowly, Rob. I don't think this is going to be a sub-15-minute jobby unless they really pick it up soon.
That was a foul for
maybe one of the likeliest reasons it would be, Tim, is if McColgan, who's just running behind Dominic Scott of South Africa, if she feels it is too slow, and just turn it into an honest pace. That is where she is most comfortable, at the front, delivering metronomic lap after lap after lap.
Beatrice Chebet
and Decisive dominating things at the moment, but they've gone to the front and kind of slowed it down. Chebet is an excellent athlete. Maybe she, along with Chesang, who's tucked in on the inside for Uganda, maybe she could be the biggest threat to McColgan's bid for a truly historic double. And McColgan, if you've been watching her for many years, you'll already know this, she has such a long stride that she has to position herself an extra half a yard ahead of a pack because she runs the risk of having them clip her heels, and that's why she's positioning herself just a little way off the front. This is where she's most comfortable, Tim, and if she can turn it into an honest pace, maybe one by one she can whittle them away.
Well, this is what McColgan is best at, going to the front and just grinding it out. 11th in Eugene in the 5,000 metres, 10th in the 10,000. She's got the London Marathon coming up on October the 2nd. She's confirmed that will be her debut. Really exciting debut, that. But what you know with Eilish is that you will get good, honest racing every time. She's not scared of a hard, consistent tempo. Back to this 5,000 metres, 4:44 at 4 laps. The first kilometre was a 2:58. McColgan still leading from Dominique Scott of South Africa, but Beatrice and Chebet of Kenya in 3rd and 4th. And then Sarah Inglis of Scotland having a good run. Then the Ugandan pairing, Chalangat and Chezang. You can see Beatrice on the outside there, just staying off the curve. Not really being stretched by this. I don't think Eilish has really cranked it up yet. She's biding her time. We're still inside the first 2 kilometres, remember. That's 4.5 laps done now. And they're on something just inside 15-minute tempo. Nothing particularly daunting, but it is quick enough to begin to whittle down the field. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 beginning to get away.
Yes, and this is good tactics from McColgan. She didn't want that huge group. She won't be feeling uncomfortable at all at knocking out the 71s and 72s. Scott looks really composed in 2nd place. 7th here in the 10,000 metres. They're coming round to lap 1 or 2 of the black markers who've got the slower PBs. I think it's the athlete from the Solomon Islands who hasn't run inside 19 minutes. But Scott looking good in 2nd. It's a little bit ominous. The 2 Kenyans are quite happy at the moment, Tim, just tagging along for the ride. And one by one, this little group will begin to be whittled down. This is good running, though, by McColgan at the moment.
Well, I think we know that McColgan has got the extra gears to wind it up if she needs to. The Kenyans and the Ugandans will know that. One of the Ugandans beginning to drop back now. I think that's Chezang back in about 8th place. So a 9th place, in fact. But McColgan calling the shots at the moment, completely in control. They went through 2K in 5:55, and almost identical, slightly quicker 2nd kilometre. 2:58 the first kilometre, 2:57 the 2nd kilometre.
Only 6 now, Tim. One by one, they are falling off McColgan's pace.
Yes, interesting, isn't it? Because it's quick enough to trouble many athletes. Around 14:50 tempo. McColgan, remember, has a lifetime best of 14:28. That is supreme world class. One of the quickest Europeans ever. But she leads from that Kenyan pairing, Beatrice and Chebet in 2nd and 3rd. Then her teammate, Sarah Inglis, having a fabulous run here is English. 9th in the 10,000 here, maybe heading for something better. The athlete from the Lothian club works as a school teacher up in Langley, British Columbia now. But McColgan with the 2 Kenyans and Inglis, and behind Inglis, Sarah Chalangat of Uganda. Scott just beginning to struggle now, the South African, having to let this quintet go.
And also, Chalangat now just beginning to allow a couple of metres to grow. There's a few back markers they're going past, but all of a sudden, you've got Scotland in 1st and 4th. Inglis running really well here. I thought she did well in the 10,000 here, 3rd in the national champ. She's in PB shape this year, just outside 15 minutes. But still, Luciani and Chebet tucking in behind McColgan. Another 2:57 kilometre. This is what she does best. It's metronomic pacing, and one by one, they are falling by the wayside. Her quest to follow again in her mum's footsteps going well. Liz McColgan had a gold in Auckland in the 10,000 and a bronze over the shorter of the longer races. McColgan's eyes, though, are firmly fixed on a 2nd gold.
Well, they're playing to her tune at the moment. Now, if Beatrice wanted to disrupt her race, she could. She could come round McColgan and speed it up or slow it down, just disrupt the lovely, steady tempo that McColgan likes. She almost runs into the back of Eilish there, struggling to keep away from those long, rangy stride of McColgan. The heels coming up very high. It's so difficult to run behind an athlete like that. but I can only assume that Busenier is comfortable, that Chebet is comfortable, and Eilish will know full well, because she comes through this time, it's 4 laps to go, pretty much a mile to run from now. And they're getting away, these three, and Inglis is having to let them go. That could be her saying goodbye to a medal. She's run superbly, Rob, to hang on this long and be dragged away from most of this field.
She has put together a brilliant race. The Scot in 4th, but so too has the Scot in front. The athlete I would be concerned about from McColgan's point of view is the smaller of the 2 Kenyans in 3rd, Tim, because she's the only one in the field who has run faster than McColgan over the 5,000 this year. McColgan has the quicker lifetime best between herself and the Kenyan in 3rd, but the youngster, who's only 22, a former world junior champion, she's an African champion, she's a really, really high quality performer. She was on the podium in Eugene as well. She's run 14:46 this season, and I think she looks slightly more comfortable than the Kenyan just ahead of her in 2nd place.
She is undoubtedly the danger, is Beatrice Chebet, the African 5,000 champion. Looks very comfortable, doesn't she? What's she got in those Kenyan legs? McColgan, though, is a canny racer. She will be thinking on her feet, calculating all the time. When do I wind it up? When do I click it up another notch? When do I click it up another notch? Almost like turning up the volume on a radio, just putting the pressure on the athletes behind her. She's looking okay, is Eilish McColgan, coming up towards 4 kilometres at the end of the straight this time. And Chebet, you're right, Rob, looks ominously calm and simple here, doesn't she? They went through 3,853. That's kilometre splits, 258, 257, 257. And this is 4K now. There it is, another 256. She has cranked it up a little bit.
She's run it at her own pace. It's the perfect tactic from McColgan. You could argue she's slightly better as the distances go up, and she will be well aware of the danger posed by the tiny figure running just behind her. Up to stay with McColgan here, but Chebet has got a really economic style. She's a tiny figure in contrast to McColgan, but with 2 laps to go, the Kenyan, who is tracking the long-term leader from Scotland, looks poised to strike. Will McColgan be able to respond this time if the Kenyan does go?
Well, 3 of them away. They are undoubtedly barring disaster, the medalists. Inglis is still in 4th place. Markoch back in 5th. Scott of South Africa in 6th. But this is the battle, and Chebet there almost looks like she's chomping at the bit, ready to go. When does she kick? But McColgan will be expecting this. Has she got something in her armoury to cope with the inevitable attack from at least one of these 2 Kenyans? The little figure of Chebet, Beatrice Chebet, almost jogging, it seems, on the shoulder of Eilish McColgan. Happy to run wide on the bend, running another 2 or 3 metres there on the outside of lane 1, alongside the Scot. Busenier back in 3rd place. We mustn't discount a 500 to run, Rob, and it's anybody's race.
They are all getting ready for the big, big strike for home. And listen, Colgan has her stride checked. Can she find anything on the last 400 to stay with the 2 Kenyans?
Well, she's got the speed, has Eilish McColgan now, with 350 metres to run, to stay behind these Kenyans. She's almost chopping her stride there, that long, raking stride of hers, the back kick exceptionally high. Has she got the speed? Is there fatigue in those legs after the 10,000? McColgan behind Busenier and Chebet. Kenya 1-2. This is like the men's 10,000 metres with Kiplimo tucked behind 2 Kenyans as Chebet kicks off the front. McColgan reacts, but maybe a little too late. Behind Busenier, the second Kenyan, a glance over her shoulder. She will be 3rd, but Chebet is gone and away. And the World Championship silver medalist will not be caught now. That's an extraordinary increase in pace. Fabulous running from Beatrice Chebet. Kenya will take gold in the 5,000 metres. She has blasted away. That's 25 metres in the space of 150. She's opened up. It's going to be gold for Kenya all the way. Beatrice Chebet punches the air as she crosses the line. A superb Scottish silver for Eilish McColgan. And a beautiful bronze for Busenier there. Sarah Busenier, 12th in the 1500 8 years ago. She's found her distance now. And the winning time, 14:38. A massive personal best for Bushienye, going inside 15 minutes for the first time.
Well, as we watch the South African Dominique Scott coming home with Sarah Inglis, a tired figure, just behind her. The casualties all blown out the back. First of all, by the metronomic pace of Eilish McColgan, and then the devastating turn of speed from Beatrice Chebet. She always looked the most comfortable of the two Kenyans running behind the Scot, and she was not to be denied. World silver is Commonwealth gold, and the way she accelerated with about 2:20 to go, even McColgan, in the kind of form that she's shown already this week, could do nothing in response. But, Tim, by taking the silver in the shorter of the races, she has outperformed her mum. Liz McColgan had a gold in the 10 in Auckland and a bronze over the shorter of the distances, and her daughter has gone gold and silver. It's a brilliant performance by McColgan, and I'm glad she punched the air as she crossed the line. You can argue she's better at the 10 than she is at the 5. She burned everybody but Chebet off. Great bronze from Husseini, but Chebet was just too good and too fast.
Chebet in a different class ultimately. Clearly a lot pressure, didn't have to run the 10,000 metres here. Here is the 300 metres to go marker. McColgan was showing signs of stress and strain here with 200 to run. Chebet glanced up at the big screen there, bang, off she was gone like a rabbit with 220 to go. And really, really quick turnover. Lovely, light on her feet, isn't she? Superb speed around the crown of the bend there. McColgan, what a contrast, that long stride of hers, powering away. She glances over her shoulder, McColgan, there with about 110 to go. But she was safe for silver. Chebet, well, way, way out in front. Wins by almost 4 seconds. Superb from Beatrice Chebet, who has got so much more in the tank, surely. Her personal best is 14:34. McColgan's is 14:28 on paper. McColgan can go quicker, producing that British record and Scottish record, of course, in Oslo last year at the Bislett Games. But Beatrice Chebet, perhaps the difference between the two was the fresh legs. The 10,000 metres really does take it out of you, you know. And the way that she won that 10,000 the other night, Eilish McColgan.
A runner led for 0 laps out of 12 and still became the champion. Beatrice Chebet snatched gold in the 5,000 meters with a winning time of 14 minutes and 38.21 seconds. Yet all the heavy lifting was done by Eilish McColgan, who finished second. At first glance, it might seem like McColgan made a foolish tactical error by setting a blistering pace for the entire pack. But was it really a mistake? To understand McColgan's logic, we need to rewind 3 days. She was already carrying the heavy toll of a grueling 10,000-meter gold medal victory. Over 10 kilometers, muscles accumulate massive fatigue, and glycogen stores physically cannot restore themselves to 100% in just 96 hours. Sports science shows that elite athletes experience a 4% to 7% drop in peak finishing sprint speed when competing in a second final within 4 days. For an athlete of this caliber, those percentage points are a massive gulf, representing a loss of about half a second for every 100 meters of the home stretch. Eilish knew these numbers all too well. Her only viable option was to push a hard tempo from the start, turning the race into a battle of attrition to sap the finishing kick out of every rival in the field. McColgan took the lead and dropped the lap times from 75 seconds down to 71 to 72. That is an immense effort. Meanwhile, Chebet and Bushienye tucked in right behind her. In distance running, drafting, running directly behind the leader, provides a 1% to 2% energy saving due to aerodynamics. Over 5,000 meters, that modest margin is precisely what separates gold from silver. Chebet ran with surgical precision, a cadence of 184 to 186 steps per minute, holding a rock-steady stride. Not a single wasted movement, preserving every single gram of glycogen. The decisive move wasn't made at the tape, but with 220 meters to go. At the 4,780-meter mark, Chebet shifted gears instantaneously, expanding her stride length by 10 to 12 centimeters while her cadence surged to 196 steps per minute. Her velocity jumped from 6.5 to 7.2 meters per second in a heartbeat. McColgan attempted to respond, but her fatigued, fast-twitch muscle fibers simply couldn't produce the required power output. A rapid gap of 2, 4, 6 meters opened up, securing a dominant gold for Chebet. The criticism surrounding McColgan's naive tactics misses the mark entirely. A passive race would have guaranteed a loss in a sprint finish, whereas pushing the tempo gave her a genuine fighting chance for victory. A championship final is ultimately a resource management challenge. The winner isn't the athlete with the most energy at the start line, but the one who spends it last. McColgan executed the only logical strategy available to her, leaving everything on the track and forcing Chebet to dig to her absolute limits. Chebet, in turn, delivered a masterclass in cold, calculated tactical precision.